People will not know what's happening to me right now. Is it time? Oh, it's 4 o'clock already. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, let me know. I don't know. I want to use my mic, but if you people can hear me better, I wouldn't use the mic. So please type in the comment section if you can hear me so we can start. Happy New Year, everyone. Can you hear me? Just say yes or no. Hi, Prince Will. See, guys, I've got some package that I will unbox with you, so don't worry. Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me properly. Otherwise, I'm going to just use the mic. It's not plugged in, but if you can hear me, I might just leave it. How is it now? Can you hear me with the mic? The mic is on now. Can you hear me? Okay, so we are. Can you hear me now? All right. So hi everyone, happy new year. My name is Deo Goodness, and yeah, I'm a registered nurse currently practicing here in the UK. Most of you already know me, okay? So today's video is going to be like a Q&A and a chit chat with you, life updates, skincare. I'm going to unbox this with you. It just came, so I was like, why not? And also question and answer. So if you have any question, like general question, guys, is not just nursing. If you have like any question you know that Dayo will be the best person to ask, just ask, okay? I'm going to answer you here as much as I can. I've got questions and answers. I've got questions here, not answers. I've got questions here about agency nursing that I would like to talk to you all about, and also some of the New Zealand and Australia process that I've gotten like constant questions about. I'm going to like give you people more updates, okay? So let's get started. The first question here is, how many hours aside the 37.5 hours is allowed for overseas workers to work? So registered nurses here in the UK under the tier 2 visa, they're only allowed to work extra 20 hours with another employer. So as much as I know, your current employer, the one that is sponsoring your visa, you can work unlimited hours with them. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I know that is applicable. However, if you decide to get a second job or agency job, you would need to work only 20 hours in a week. So in a week, Monday to Sunday, okay? And these 20 hours, I think, minus your break. So your breaks usually is 60 minutes. So minus 60 minutes from your shift. So you can work a full day, and also you can work like a half day. That's what most times I do. So I work a full 12-hour shift and I work 8-hour shifts, and I'm okay for the week. Sometimes I don't really work that much because my agency actually pays okay, like one of the highest paid agency. That's one of the highest paid agencies I work with. So I don't really need to work, except I'm saving up for something or I need money urgently. That's when I do so much. But I usually just work once in a week or twice in a week. I've got like 10 agencies that I've made videos about, so you can also check them out as well for the price and how much they pay. So you don't really need to work extra just because you don't want to get on the bad side of the UK, because they are very strict with their visa rules. You all know that. So let's get to the next question. Somebody is asking, is it worth studying nursing in the UK? Because honestly, I'm reconsidering it. So when it comes to if it's worth it for you to become a nurse in the UK, I don't know what to say, because what's your drive? What do you want in life? Do you really want to be a nurse because you want to be a nurse, or do you want to be a nurse because because everyone is doing nursing? Because I hear people say nursing is now a passport, nursing is a way to greener pasture. Of course, to be honest, yes, it is, but you really need to love nursing to actually make it work for you, because greener pastures, you need to write exams. So if you don't love nursing, this exam might be hard for you. I know there are some people that pass exams even if they don't love what they do, but it's not so applicable to everyone. So you really need to love what you do. But is it worth it? Definitely yes. I don't think I'll be where I am today if I'm not a nurse. except it's Abba's way for me to be something else and better. But I think anything I have or I am now is because I'm a nurse, and I'm grateful for those opportunities. So yes, 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 it's definitely worth it. Is hospital bank regarded as a second job? So yes, yes, yes. This question is something I am very careful about answering, because I've heard people being denied their indefinite leave to remain. So indefinite leave to remain, you get it after 5 years. I've heard some people that have been denied indefinite leave to remain because one, they have the full-time job and they are registered with their hospital bank, and also they do agency shift. So that's considered as a free job. Okay. That's why I believe that that's true, is because if you do bank shift, like I used to do bank shift before I joined agency, but not anymore. But if you used to do bank shift, you will realize that your pay slip is different from your regular job. I'm not sure if it's the same in every trust, but for my hospital, your bank shift slip is different from your regular slip. And I have two staff number because I'm a bank nurse as well, so it's different. So it comes out as a second job. So just be very careful. Like I said, if you join a good agency, you would not need to register under your bank anymore. Like now, I've stopped working as a bank nurse. I only do agency shifts. So just to be more careful, I wouldn't advise you to register for a bank and also register for agency shift, because even in the process of registering as a bank nurse, you get to submit you get to submit your tax code, you get to submit bank details, you get to like do applications and all that. So it's considered as a second job. So please just be more careful. Okay, I'm not sure if this is applicable everywhere, but for my trust, I know that you have separate assignment number, you get taxed differently. It's just a second job. And I've heard doctors that were denied their indefinite leave to remain because of this reason. So just be careful, because doctors as well, they I think theirs is locum. So just be more careful about that. Okay. And another question here. Is it true? Okay, I think I've answered this one. Let's go to this next slide. How do you go about revalidation as an agency nurse? So when you do agency nursing, if you are a full-time agency nurse, your hours is also calculated towards your revalidation. It's not because you're an agency nurse, you're not allowed to revalidate. You are allowed to revalidate as a full-time agency nurse. Your agency is going to help you with all the process. Like my agency, they offer to help, but I told them, no, I have a full-time job and they are willing to help me with my revalidation process. So it's the same process of you submitting all your hours, your reflection and everything. I think I revalidated November last year because that was my third year. So yeah, you have to still submit everything like you would as a staff nurse and pay the fees and just get revalidated. Yeah, it's the same thing. Another question here says, can an NHS full-time nurse work as an agency? Because in our visa it's written as no other work. Yes, in our visas it states no other job or something. I know there's something like that in our visa, but what it means is that you cannot work outside healthcare as a second job. So whatever job you choose to do, it has to be in healthcare. So agency nursing, if as long as you are doing nursing as an agency, it's still considered as within the healthcare field. So it's still okay. But if you go and do something else, that's when there will be an issue, as much as I know. So yeah, be more careful. I'm going to reply all your comments. So yeah, don't worry. Say what agency is that? So I have got lots of videos. There are lots of agencies that you can work with. So just check my videos, like 2 videos that has 10 agencies. There are a lot. We've got I can't remember all the agencies, but yeah, they're just a lot for you to work with. How long do you have to work in the UK to be eligible to work as an agency? So there's no particular limit, or there's no particular timeline for you to meet. You can start working as an agency as soon as you feel comfortable and confident. Okay, I have a video about speaking about before your first shift as an agency nurse, so you might want to check that. So agencies will take you depending on their own policy. Some of them they don't really mind if you have 3 months. If you have 6 months experience in the UK, they are happy with that. And it also depends on your specialties. So like for me as an anesthetic nurse, I cannot start working with agency until I have 1 year experience as an anesthetic nurse. I know it's really, really sad. And I think I get the point, because it's really a specialist role. You don't want to start going to different trusts when you don't know your stuff, okay? But when it comes to bedside nursing, regular ward, and some other specialties that are not so intense, they take 6 months, 3 months, 6 months, okay? So yeah, yes, guys, please like this video. Yeah, so they do consider, depends on the agency, depends on your specialty. So if you have a more specialized role, I think 1 year is okay, but if not, 6 months is fine as well. Okay, guys, you can start sending your questions so that we can start answering. I know not everyone will be here for all the time, so definitely start sending your questions, and I'm going to unbox my, I think I still have some questions here. How did you find your accommodation? Was it easy or difficult? So personally for me, when I came in, guys, when I came in 2019, luckily for us, then agencies were still recruiting from Africa. So definitely I got accommodation from my employer. My employer paid for a hotel for about 2 weeks before I got my own accommodation with their help. So it's not that applicable now, because agencies are not really recruiting, and even if you get a hospital to sponsor you, it's now rare. Hospitals will pay for accommodation for you, but other than that, it's just going online to search rentals.com and all the home app. You can just check on Google and get accommodation. I think now it's difficult because of the influx of people, but you can still get accommodation. You can get shared accommodation. They are quite easier to get than 1 bed or 2 bed flat, because you need references, and some landlords are not happy to give you their house when you don't have a good credit profile in the UK. So that might be a problem for you. I think we are done with the agency side, and we'll go over to the Australia New Zealand process. Yeah, so can you work as a care home nurse in Australia? Yes, so in Australia they have something called aged care, so they don't really call it care homes. I see these countries every country has their terms, you just have to look for it. So in Australia they have what we call aged care, so that's what you as a care home nurse work as, aged care nurse. Someone is asking, hello nurse Dio, can one take up jobs with more than one agency and just work within 20 hours per week? Yes, you can do that. So I normally work with 2 particular agencies. So as much as I can, some agencies will not let you go to the same hospital. For example, if I go to Royal Salford Hospital with my agency 1, I cannot go to that hospital with agency 2. Okay, so you just have to be a little bit strategic about it. You can work with many agencies as long as you don't surpass your 20 hours in a week. That's fine. But the thing is, you cannot mix the hospitals you work in. So if you work with an agency that gives you this particular hospital, you have to stick with them, with that hospital, or with that care home. So that's just the only thing. Otherwise, yes, you can. And which one is the best paying agency, Nosdio? There are a lot, because see, when it comes to best paying agencies, I've done videos on that. I cannot say this one is the best paying or that one is the best paying. Well, we've got Tombri, that is one of the highest. We've got Swiss, that is one of the highest. We've got A24, that is one of the highest. Any of the Acacium group, Pulse Nursing, they are one of the highest. They pay like 50 and above. And it depends. Some of them pay higher on the weekends, like this, they pay higher. So you see, I'm supposed to be working and I'm here. Oh, you guys, hit the like button! Hey. Okay, so okay, so yeah, so they do pay higher weekends, nights, and if you are a specialist nurse, like for me, if I finish my anesthetic course and I start working as an agency anesthetic nurse, I would be expecting something like £60 per hour and above, so that's how high they pay for agency nurses. So yeah, so think of a good specialty to specialize in as well. And I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to shout. Okay, so that's it. So let's go back to agency. So let's go back to Australia nursing and New Zealand process. How to become a nurse in Australia, full process. So I already have a full video, like 3 videos on my whole process to become Australia nurse. And for me, I went through the New Zealand process, which is quite easier and faster. But if not, you can directly register with Australia. But if you register directly with Australia, you're going to take like 2 exams. You're going to take their OSCE exams in Australia, just like the UK has OSCE exams, and you have to take also the NCLEX as well if you're going to register with Australia directly. But if you're going to register with New Zealand, they do not require you to write any of those exams if you've worked in UK. So you just have to register, submit all your applications and all that. When you get your PIN or when you get your registration with New Zealand, you then now transfer to Australia, and that was within a week for me. I've got videos on that, so you might want to check those things out. So you just have to submit all your documents, fill in the forms. Guys, these documents and everything, they are a lot, okay? So it's not for the week, but definitely worth it. So yeah, that's just roughly the whole process. I think I didn't spend up to £2,000 for the whole process, both New Zealand and Australia. I think 1,000 something, but it wasn't up to 2,000. Okay, so I definitely recommend, if you really want to move to Australia, either from the UK, Ireland, Canada, US, or anywhere. If you want to, I really recommend you do that. Even if you're in Nigeria, you can do it, but it's quite expensive. It's the same process. The exams, you still have to write it. Yeah, I think the IELTS score or the OET score is still high. It's like 777 and BBBB. It's not like New Zealand. Guys, let me tell you something. With New Zealand, so someone had to apply for New Zealand IELTS. So IELTS, so New Zealand Council accepts IELTS, that even if you have a 5.5 in any of the band, if you club the two and you can meet their requirement, you can still use it. So you know that in the UK, yeah, if you have 777, 888, and one of them you have 5.5, you that result is totally disqualified if it's less than 6.5. But in New Zealand, even if you have 4, for example, in your first paper, and your second paper you have 7 in that band, you can use that result as long as the combined 4 of them meets the requirement. So it's quite a good thing. But the only thing is, if you are coming from Nigeria, you have to do the CAP program, and the CAP program is like their adaptation program, which is like 6 weeks, 6 to 12 weeks, I think. But the only thing is, it's quite expensive, and I don't think there are really agencies that are willing to pay all these fees. So you would have to like sort it out yourself. If you have the money, I'll definitely say go for it. It's worth it. Otherwise, you can come to the UK first, then from UK you can go. You might even like the UK and decide to stay. Okay, the UK is not as bad as people think, but some people like to leave for different reasons. Not solely because of the pay, not solely because of only the pay that is not that good. Some people just move over to agencies immediately. They have their indefinite leave to remain and they can live comfortable. Okay, so it's not as bad. So if that's what you want, definitely go for it. Yes, I'll be answering questions as we go as well. Why can't I see you? Oh, I'm here. Do you have any idea about agency shifts in Australia and what they pay is like? Yes, so in Australia, they've got their regular staff nurses, they've got agency nurses, or bank nurses, then they have the travel nursing. When it comes to the salary, it depends on each city or region. See, Australia is big, I swear. So every region has pay scale. So it's not like the UK where the whole NHS, or let's say England, because I heard that Wales, they've just increased their salary for their NHS workers, but we don't have anything. Chichi. No pay rise for us. So in England, we all know how much NHS workers earn per band. But in Australia, like a state like Victoria would pay this amount, and a state in Western Australia will pay this amount. So it's different. I think it's just like, yeah, so every state's pay is different. Some of them are more expensive. So like if you live in New South Wales, that is quite expensive, you might get more money than someone who lives in, let's say, Tasmania is a little bit cheaper, so I heard. Okay, so with the pay, it depends on your specialty as well, and it depends on your level of experience. So one good thing about Australia is they take into account all your years of experience. So it's not like the UK where your experience starts with when you enter the UK. So they don't do that. So if you are a matron in your country with 20 years of experience and you go to Australia, they'll start you as someone that has 20 years of experience. So you see, that's one of the reasons why Australia is very good. Okay, so your years of experience will be counted. Like when I was doing my interview, they took into account my years of experience in Nigeria. Okay, I had, I think, about 1 year experience in Nigeria, so they added that as well and added my 3 years here in UK together to make it 4 years. So I'm starting at their level 4. They have levels as well, just like this thing. So I'm starting at level 4. I'm not going to start from scratch again. So yes, that's one good thing. So your pay differs, but most of the times their agencies will pay you a time and a half as what the regular bank staffs, regular staff nurses will get. So most of them will start, say, I don't know how to put it because the pay in Australia is very difficult to explain. Sometimes you might get as high as 90. So, okay, let me start from 70. So because from morning, so like 8 o'clock till 2 o'clock, the pay is different. Okay, it's not, is different. So they might pay you, let's say they start you from 60 Australian dollar per hour from 8 to 2. Okay, you get 60. Then from 2 to 8, that same day, it's not even weekend, that same day you get about say 65 or 70. Okay, then from 8 in the evening till morning, so 9 shifts, you still get extra on top. You get like maybe 70. So that's how different it could be. But when it comes to the travel nursing, they'll package your money for you and add like incentives on top. So for example, there's one I saw, they send you to a place for a contract for, let's say, 13 weeks. So after you finish the contract, aside the fact that they pay you every week, they will now add 5,000 Australian dollar, for example, 5,000 Australian dollar on top your regular salary. So it's just like an incentive. So thank you for finishing this contract with us, and they add 5,000 and all that for you. But yeah, they do pay much better than staff nursing in Australia as well. So definitely consider agency nursing or travel nursing. And one good thing about Australia is you can start travel nursing immediately you go. Okay, so you don't really need to work in a particular hospital for 1 year, 2 years before you can start. You can start as soon as you, as much as you are confident to work as a travel nurse, you can. Like there's one nurse on Instagram that I followed that she left from here to Australia. But she's a British citizen. Okay, so she doesn't really need. She can go on a holiday working visa. I can't go on a holiday working visa because of my passport, but she can. So she doesn't really need to apply for a permanent residency first before she can work. So she went and she's now doing agency nursing. Okay, she didn't start with travel nursing because agency nursing, you can get block booking in somewhere close, but travel nursing, they tend to take you far. So she got it in Melbourne, which is in Victoria, and she showed us her pay slip, and she's earning like £27. Like she converted it to pounds, so she's earning like £2,700 in a week. Okay, so that's when she converted Australian dollar to pound, because she's just explaining to British nurses how much she gets. So she said 2.7 in a week, and that's just the agency. So if you work travel nursing, you get more than that in a week. So yeah, that's how it is. Because I'm just imagining if you would be earning £60 per hour after the course on agency, should Australia guys pay you more? Yes, they do pay you more. And personally, for me, the pay is not the only reason I'm going. I think I've done a video on why I'm going. Pay is not the reason. The pay is good, yes, but guys, Australia is like Nigeria with weather. Okay, especially if you live in some parts, not the northern side, the weather is good. Cost of living there is similar to UK, as much as I've seen and heard. The housing, their lifestyle generally. And one thing that just broke it is the fact that, do you know that even if you become a permanent resident or a British citizen here, you really cannot bring your family as a permanent resident. So that's one thing that Australia beats the UK about as well, because if you are a permanent resident in Australia, you can file for your family to come as a permanent resident as well. So yeah, that's one good thing about Australia. And yeah, like I said in my previous video, I'm going to Australia as a permanent resident. I'm not just going as a working visa holder or anything. I'm going as a permanent resident. So that means automatically my family, my parents, if I want to bring them and add them, they'll become a permanent citizens, permanent residents of Australia. Then after 4 years, I can then apply for citizenship. So personally for me, those are one of the reasons I'm going, not just the money. Yes, the money is good, and aside that, for my family as well, the Australia pays one of the highest. So not just for nursing, but here in the UK, nursing here pays well. But how about other courses that are not healthcare or tech related? Because you have to be healthcare or tech, or what else? finance to earn very well in the UK. So if you're not, but in Australia, the minimum wage start from like 21 Australian dollar, and people live comfortable with that. So imagine if you get a higher position, you get paid more. And I hear that people don't even earn that minimum wage. Minimum wage is for like people that are just below 16 doing menial jobs, but if you're above 18, people don't really earn minimum wage. So that's one of the things I'm going for as well. So yeah, and I want to go out of really nursing. I want to do something else, and somehow the UK is restrictive as well. Yeah, so we'll see. It's part of the adventure. Okay, nowhere is perfect. Okay, 'cause I know a lot of people. La, la, la. It's okay. It's okay. So yeah, Nosdio, please, can an RN start a pre-registration MSc nursing course after 6 months in the UK with or without the support of the hospital? Why do you want to do a pre-registration MSc nursing if you're already a registered nurse? Or maybe RN with diploma? Yeah, you can. If as long as you can fund yourself, that's fine. You can do it. Yeah, I think you should be able to do it as long as you can fund it. But definitely speak with your practice development nurse, because every hospital has a slot for BSc, has a slot for masters, has a slot for specialist course. So speak to your practice development nurse. They might be able to like put you on to start the course the next time it starts. So definitely speak to them and see if you can be sponsored, because it's expensive. I think it will be like 12,000 or 13,000 as an international student. So definitely, if you can get your trust to pay for it, why not? So yeah, definitely do that. Hi Nozio, do you have any recommendation for umbrella companies? When it comes to umbrella companies, I will be honest, I am not under any umbrella companies for a lot of reasons, okay? And I'll let you know. Number one is the fact that I'm still under tier 2 visa. And as much as, yes, you can do it, not that you can't do it, but I find out that you will not benefit from umbrella companies as a tier 2 holder. That's my own take. Because why? NHS, we already know, as working full-time with NHS, you are on paye, okay? So definitely you can't, that one is unnegotiable. But if you're with agencies, some of them will say, okay, you can do umbrella, you can do paye. So you have to choose which one you want. And how many hours do you work in a week? For me, I work only once a week, which is 12 hours. And when I do umbrella company, I have to sort out my tax myself. And then if I can't do it myself, I have to pay someone to do it for me. How much am I earning from my second job that I'll have to pay someone to do my taxes? And how much can I claim back? I can only claim back a little. But I would definitely recommend you go to umbrella, start your own umbrella company immediately you have your permanent residency and you are a full-time agency worker. Definitely that's the best way to do it. You get your money, you can earn more, and you can always get cash back for a lot of things. So definitely that's applicable if you are a permanent resident and doing full-time agency. But if you are on a tier 2 visa, you're one leg in, one leg out, and you don't want to risk your stay, like if you don't get to balance your tax very well, it could affect your indefinite leave to remain. So I didn't just want to put my head in those wahala beg. I just wanted to go straight and do. But definitely I will recommend it immediately you can and you have your permanent stay. So definitely, but I don't know much companies that do that because I don't have any. What about family member like sibling? Can they give them PRO? Yes, as much as I know, on their website is there family, sibling, direct siblings. I think you can. I think if you've got the same son name, like family name, you can. But I'm not there yet and I've not done it. So definitely do your own research as well. But on their website is there, as much as I've seen, it says sibling, family members can apply under your visa as a PRO. When I finish my own application, I'm going to do a complete video about that and definitely show you where I saw those things as well, so that you know about that as well. But definitely, if you just go on Australian website, immigration website, government website, you see these things that are there. They've got a lot of visa processes, and they'll tell you what you can do with that visa. They'll tell you what you cannot do with that visa, who you can bring, how long you can stay, and all that. So definitely look at it if you're interested. Hi Ada, thank you so much. Yes, guys, please give me thumbs up. See, I have 30 people watching and only 14 like. Guys, it's unfair. If I'm doing agency now, okay. Are you going as a permanent resident from UK to Australia or what? Yes, I'm going as a permanent resident with a sponsored visa. So I've done a video about Australia has a lot of visa processes. They've got a visa that you can sponsor yourself without an employer. They have the one that employer will sponsor you for permanent resident. So we've got the 186 visa. That one your employer will sponsor you to become a permanent resident. So that's what I'm going for. But we've got 189, 190 as well. You don't need sponsorship for those ones. You just need a state to nominate you. You know, when you do this Canada PRO and you are in a pool waiting for a state to invite you. So that's the same thing with Australia as well. So definitely a lot of options for people that want to become permanent resident. If you want, you can still go as a tier 2, not tier 2. They have their own type of visa, a working visa, that is the 482. But I don't advise people that are already here in the UK to go for that. If you're in Nigeria and you really want to leave because the situation of things are not smiling, definitely you can go for work visa. But I'm not in a hurry to leave the UK because the work visa is quite easier to get compared to permanent visa. And because do you know that this permanent visa I'm going for, I have to write English test, guys. It's unfair. Oh, imagine me that I've worked in an English speaking country for like I need to do this for 3 years. They still say I have to write an English test. Well, but the thing is, the score is not that much, and I'll keep people updated. Okay, so yeah, definitely. Are you going as yeah? I've answered this question. That side, meaning in the UK, is public health nursing considered as a specialty. With public health nursing in the UK, they don't really. I've never seen anyone that is a public health nurse, but they call it community health nursing. I don't know if that's going to be like the most similar specialty to public health. I know they have BSc in public health, but public health nursing as a whole, I've never seen it. I don't know if any of you watching knows about this. Please comment below. I don't know about that, but if they have, I don't think they have so much opportunities as compared to community health nurses. Community health nurses have loads. They can work as district nurses. They can work in home care and all that. So definitely, I would say it's applicable or similar to community health nursing here. Agent of waiting one. Nurse Glory, please leave me alone. No, thank you for joining my live stream. If you decided to leave your employer, is that means you might lose your PRO? No. So you don't lose your PRO. It's called PRO, permanent residency. You cannot lose a permanent resident just because you left your employer. But the thing is, you have to sign a contract with them and you have to stay with them for like 1 year or 2 years. You have to stay with them. There's nothing like losing your permanent residency. The most you can do is to pay them back. So like mine, I'm going to do a full video, guys, don't worry. So they are going to like fund your travel. So they'll pay your flight, pay accommodation, and give you like pocket money. So for example, they'll give you this amount that this is your relocation bonus for coming to Australia through us. And the only thing is, if you want to leave them before 1 year or 2 years, you have to pay them back. But your permanent residency is your permanent residency. No one can take that from you. Okay, so that's just it. But I don't think it's fair for you to move with them and just leave, especially if they are nice employers, because except they are toxic and you can't survive. I would not advise anyone to stay in a toxic place, but generally, if they are not toxic, they are okay. I don't think 1 year is too bad for you to stay with them. So please, Australia is still quite brand new. I don't think if we start doing that, if it's going to be a good thing for us. I know they are doing it in the UK, but Australia is new, and if we start doing that, I think it's going to like be a bad block way for other people, because you will not see agencies as much as you would see in the UK. Agencies in Australia, they are there. I've done a video about that as well. There are lots of agencies that recruit from the UK to Australia. I've not seen any that does from Nigeria directly, but they do from outside the UK as well, but I don't know for Nigeria. But if you want to ask them, you can ask them that and see. But I don't think it's a good thing for you to come and 1 month, 2 months you're out. If at least 1 year is fine, except it's very toxic and you can't survive. But definitely, your PR will not be taken from you. And also, if you do that, I think getting a job again will be hard for you, because it's going to be on your records anyway, which is not fair. Another question. Hi Deo, you look beautiful. Please, how soon can I start doing agency? As long as Is it? See, let me tell you something. 90% of nurses in the UK would do agency nursing, whether part time, either as a one off or full time. Okay, in the UK, you barely survive on just being a staff nurse. That's the truth. Even when you're a specialist nurse, I think band 7 nurses in the UK under NHS, they will earn like 40,000, which is less than £30 per hour, I think. But as an agency nurse, even if you're a band 5, you get paid so high. So definitely, everyone would. Not every nurse, let me not say every nurse, I don't know every nurse, but 90% of nurses in the UK, both British nurses, both citizens, or both tier 2 workers, will consider doing agency nursing. So it's the most lucrative thing, it's the most quick money. If you need money to sort out anything, that's the most easiest way to get money. And they pay weekly. I know some agencies that pay you immediately you finish the shift. So if I go to a night shift and come back in the morning, I submit my timesheet on my phone, I'm getting paid immediately. So definitely very lucrative. I really recommend you do agency as long as you feel confident. I started doing agency after 1 year, but I think 6 months is fine. Okay, so definitely go for it. Please, can a mental health nurse in the UK also practice as a mental health nurse in Australia? Yes. So I'm going to do a video. Okay. I'm in a process called skilled assessment. So you need to do a skilled assessment before you move to Australia. If you did a mental health nursing, that's one trick about Australia. If you did mental health nursing, they have what we call ANZO codes. So there's a code that you can only practice as a mental health nurse. So if you've got 2 years experience as a mental health nurse, yes, you can work as a mental health nurse in Australia. Now, when you are registering with Australia board, they don't really need 2 years. They need about 450 hours, which you can get in 3 months. But when you get to the skilled immigration part, where they put your name forward for permanent residency visa, you need to have 2 years experience. They want to make sure that you are skilled enough, which is like 2 years before you can get your visa as a permanent resident. So you can work as a mental health. They have mental health nursing, and it's good money there. Are you people not registered with RCN? So because RCN, Royal College of Nursing, they always send me job alerts, and mental health nursing pays so much in Australia, guys. They are considered specialist nurses in Australia, and they pay really good. I think even in the UK, mental health nurses are paid higher than general nurses. So definitely, you can do that. Are you going to Melbourne or another city? So I've got a job in Melbourne, and I am going to attend more interviews before I finally pick one. So we'll see. I'll let you know. Please, another question also, is anaesthetic nursing a thing in Australia? Guys, see, let me tell you, if you will not know the stress I'm going through in this Australia process. Okay, so when it comes to anaesthetic nursing, the UK, Canada, Ireland, I don't know, I'm not sure of Ireland, but the UK, Canada, Australia, they don't have what we call the nurse anesthetists as we know in Nigeria and US. So I know US have nurse anesthetists, certified registered nurse anesthetists, but Australia, Canada, and UK don't have nurse anesthetists. What they have that is equivalent to a nurse anesthetics is called nurse anesthesia associate. I've done a video about that already. So it's called anesthesia associate. So with that, you are doing the same thing a certified registered nurse anesthetist does, but you're not just called a nurse anesthetist because that's not the name they give to it. So it just it's the same scope of practice. You can give you anesthesia, you can sedate a patient, you can intubate a patient and extubate a patient. You literally give all the medication and all. But some trusts, like in the UK, let me explain. Some trusts will have one anesthesia associate in this theater and another one in this theater. Then they will have a consultant anesthetist just overseeing everything. But it's not like the anesthetist will be there with them doing, okay, do this, do that. No, they are independent, they do everything, but they have a backup if the patient starts to have any respiratory issues or they're just not sure. They can always fall back to it. So it's just like Reg falling back to a consultant. So that's what. But you have to go back to school and get a master's. That's like 27 months, which is almost like University of Birmingham, they do that. The program is fairly new, so not a lot of trust has that role. not enough hospitals, not enough universities offer that course. So I know of University of Birmingham, they offer the anesthesia associate, and one other university, I've forgotten, but I'm very sure of Birmingham. I think I've done a video about that already, but I'm very sure of Birmingham, they offer that course, and you need to have 2 years experience in anesthetic nursing before you can apply for that role. So it's not just something you just go and apply. You have to even apply under your trust, because they need you to be signed off of clinical competencies. So just like the one I'm doing right now, you cannot just apply to schools. You have to apply under your trust so that you can be signed off. You can be assigned a mentor, and you can be assigned someone to watch you while you're doing your clinical, like a trainee role sort of. But yeah, and also in Australia they have what we call nurse sedationists. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it well, but they are basically nurses that sedate patients. They are basically nurses that sedate patients for minor surgery. So you know that not every patient needs general anesthesia. So nurse sedationists, they can sedate a patient as well. So that's a different specialty. Still like anesthetic, but a little bit different. And they also have consultant nurses, nurse consultant, and you can become a nurse consultant in 5 years. But they don't have nurse consultant in anesthetic, but just like general nurses. Even in the UK, we have nurse consultants. So definitely, they have those options, but not like they call it nurse anesthetic. I know a lot of people are worried, oh, there are no nurse anesthetic in UK. Yes, they are, but they are not just called nurse anesthetics. They are called anesthesia associates. Okay, I hope that is clear. I hope that's understandable, because even in the US, you have to go back to school to get a master's for 2 years as well before you can become a certified nurse. And I said you have to have 2 years ICU experience. So it's the same thing here, but here you don't really need to be ITU. You can be anesthetic nurses for 2 years, then you can apply for the anesthesia associate role. So I think it's very, very lucrative as well. The last time I was checking on NHS website, the pay is about 70. They start you at band 7, top of band 7, band 8 kind of. So I think like 70,000 per annum, but it's not that common. It's not that popular. So you have to be patient, and hopefully you are working with a very big trust that has a lot of theaters to accommodate nurse anesthetics, anesthesia associates. Okay, so that's just the thing. Hi Captain, thank you for being so resourceful. Please, can an international nurse in the UK sponsor herself for? Oh, I think I've answered this already. So you cannot sponsor yourself. If you want to negotiate with your trust for you to pay, you can, but why would you when they need you? They would definitely, like for my trust, they only had 6 slots for this anesthesia course I'm doing. Okay, you cannot just go to the school. You have to come through a trust. Okay, so it's the same thing. You cannot sponsor yourself. For the payments, maybe the trust only has 6 slots to fund. That's fine. Then you can now say, okay, if people are willing to take me, I'll pay for it. Okay. I think it's like £4,000. I'm not sure how much again. Since last year, I can't remember the amount. But if you want to fund it, you still have to go through your trust. But maybe an agreement to say you'll be the one paying. They are just sending your name forward to the school, because the school does not accept application from general public. Okay, they need to be sure you're coming from a hospital and you meet their requirements. So I don't even think some schools post out the admission for general public, or you cannot even apply as an international student. You need to be UK based to apply. So definitely you can speak to your trust. Just go to the department. They're under the doctors. They're not really under nurses. Okay, so they are quite under doctors, just like physician associates. I don't know if people know about physician associates. So they're under doctors per se, not under nursing. So it's just like a shift as well. So you can speak to any of the doctors if they have that role, and if they don't have enough slots, you just go for your interview. If they don't take you in that interview phase, you can easily just say you are willing to pay, because they have slots. Once they take the 6, the rest of you, they won't take you. So even if you do well in your interview and they don't want to take you again, that's it. So the best you can do is to speak to them. You're willing to fund yourself. They should just put your name forward. So yeah, but you can't apply directly. For the New Zealand registration, do I need to have UK experience? I have NMC PIN and only system. So with New Zealand application and Australia application, no, you don't really need to have 2 years experience in the UK. As long as you have 2 years experience under your belt, whether it's from Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, wherever, as long as you have that experience and you can prove it. Okay, you need to prove the experience. You need to, your hospital that you've worked with needs to send needs to fill in the form and send it to them with a work email. So that's one issue I also had. I just had to leave that experience because in Nigeria, we all know, I don't know for big hospitals, but some hospitals don't have official emails. So you have to consider that as well. As long as you have a hospital or wherever you worked can send an official email or can send stamp dates and all that, can send and prove that you worked with them for this time, and it has to be paid. Okay, I don't think they take internship or all those kind of things. It has to be, if the internship is paid, yes they will, but training and all that, they don't consider that as part of experience. As long as it's paid experience, they will definitely accept you. So it doesn't really have to be UK experience. Can you share with your Australia agency? What do you mean? Can you share? Can you rephrase the question, please? I really don't understand, Ferux. Hi, Linda. Thank you for joining. Hi, Dale. Does one need to redo English exam for PR process? No. If your exam, your result is not expired, they take 3 years, okay, not just 2 years, because I know in the UK it's 2 years. So as long as your IELTS is 3 years, you can still use it. But mine is more than 3 years already, so I can't use it. So yes, definitely you can use it. So good luck to you, and make sure you do quick before it expires. Otherwise you have to retake it. But if you're retaking it, it's like 6, which is not so bad compared to 7. 7 is not easy, please. So 6, and they also accept PTE. PTE is quite easier than IELTS, and they accept 65 in PTE. So yeah, definitely you can look at that as well. Can an AA in UK move and work in Australia in the same room? Yes, you can. So that's one thing. That's why I'm still doing interviews, because I've told you people before, the job I got is in cardiac nursing, and I'm trying my best to avoid ward setting right now. You know, if you see the lights, you don't want to go back to. So because I don't have enough experience in anesthetics, the hospitals are not willing to take me now. So that's one of the reasons why I'm delaying my movement as well. I need to have more experience. They will take 6 months, but they wouldn't take me because I'm less than 6 months. So definitely you can, if you have enough experience, you can work as an anesthetic nurse. And they also have their own graduate program, their masters in peri-op, I think peri-op anesthetics or something like that. They have a master that you have to do before you can be certified as a graduate nurse there. So you can work as an anesthetic assistant there, but you have to go back to school again for 2 years. So yeah, definitely. Highest paid nursing specialty. Nurse consultants, nurse practitioners in any of the specialties, but anesthetic nurses definitely are paid higher. And those, you people cannot, you can never forget endoscopy nurses. Endoscopy nurses with agency can earn as nurse endoscopies, not just endoscopy nurses, because they are different. So we have nurse endoscopies. So nurse endoscopies can earn. People saw that video I did, like £100 per hour with agency, okay? And with NHS, they start them as band 7 or band 8, depending on where you work. So yeah, definitely they are paid one of the highest. Clinical nurse specialists depend on the specialty, because you cannot become a it's not like some specialties are not important, but let's be honest, some specialties as agency is not that lucrative. So that's why I tell people, if you are going into a specialty, not for your own, not the fact that you like it, but for money, be very careful. You don't go and do clinical nurse specialists in infection control. Which agency will employ you? Or you go and do a specialty in stomach specialist nurse. The truth is, not to say some specialties are not important, but if your goal is to make money in some specialties are not important in the UK. If your goal is to make money, because nobody cares about stomach specialist nurses for agency, okay? Nobody cares about some specialties. So as much as yes, it's good to progress and go to band 6 and all that is good, but how can you use that specialty? Okay, that's one thing. How can you make that? Because at a point you get bored of doing the same thing in NHS. You really want to explore and do other things, and some specialties are limiting. Like if you become a stomach specialist nurse, what next are you going for? It's going to fall back to management role, being a charge of something and all that. But Yeah, just be sure of which one you're going for before you, especially if you're going for agency. Yeah, ITU nurses, oh god, they make so much money, guys. ICU nurses, aside the fact that they can work with they can work in ITU in hospital setting, they can also work as specialist nurses in the home. So there are some agencies that will send you to one-to-one in their homes. So just like mental health nurses that look after a patient one-to-one, ITU nurses also can work one-to-one, and sometimes they pay you from £40 and above, and during the weekends they pay you more, like 50, 70, like that. So yeah, definitely ITU nursing also is one of the sweetest. They've got loads of skills, amazing. Definitely ITU as well, look for it as well. um you have really done a great research on this nursing progress. I must tell you, you are doing well. Thank you so much, darling, and congratulations on your new job with the NHS. I saw your video. I'm going to watch it in full. I've watched half before I started this live, so I'll go back and watch those videos. Congratulations, my love. Great info. Thank you so much. Can you share with us the name of the Australian agency who provided you with work contract in Australia? So I'm going to do a video on that. Because I'm still in the process, I don't think it's right for me to just mention their name. I've done a video on like 5 of them, but the exact one that I'm working with, I cannot just mention the name for privacy reason, confidential. I don't know, but I don't feel right. I don't feel okay to just mention their name because I'm still in the process. Because I'm not sure of them yet. If you know what I mean, I like to be very sure before I just mention I'm using these people, I'm using that people, just in case it doesn't go well. I've already mentioned their name and all that. I want to be sure that I'm there. They are good. They receive me well. They give me all the money because these people, they've promised me so much money. Promise me all the money. I want to be sure. Okay, so definitely I'll tell you people. We don't get keep here, but safety and all that must come first. Okay, so there. How many percent do they take as tax from agency nurse? So agency nurses will pay same tax as you would, but if you are earning above £40, is it £40? Is it £40,000 or 60,000? Okay, I think it's 40,000 per annum. Your tax code goes up, so you have to pay 20% extra on whatever you make. So we have, I don't know how to explain this. So we have non-taxable income, 12,500 ish, is not taxed. Then everything else above the 12,500 will be taxed at 20%. Okay. And then if you start earning and you earn above 40, you now be taxed 40% on top anything above the 40. So you're not, so most people just think, oh, your tax code is going to go up, you're going to get taxed 40%. The 40% is not your total income. Okay, your 40% starts when you start earning 40 and above. So if you are earning 50, £10,000 is going to be taxed at 40%. Okay, but if you're earning below that, it's just going to be 20%. So me personally, from my own experience, I'm above the 20% tax bracket last tax year, and I got taxed really good. My tax code changed, guys, and what I'm going to just say is it's still worth it. So as much as they say, oh yeah, don't work high, don't work too much, you're gonna get taxed, it's still worth it. I still saw a big difference from my paycheck last year and my paycheck in 2020. Okay, so the difference is clear, but that's what I'm just saying. As long as you work with a good agency, you don't really have to work 6 days a week. I only work 4 days a week. Sometimes I don't even go for agency shifts. Okay, so as long as you are with a good agency, your tax bracket will go up and surpass the 40,000, but you still see a difference in your paycheck. So definitely still worth it, regardless of the tax bracket. For freshers like me, which kind of experience they need the most? If you don't have any specialty you really want, or you are confused, start with acute medical units like AMU. It's just like ED. I know some trusts will not just put you in ED, but some do. Emergency nursing as well is good. These are transferable skills. Okay, once you're an ITU nurse, you are emergency nurse, you are AMU acute medical nurse, you can transfer your skills to any specialist area. So definitely these 3 are my go-to if you don't know where to work, especially AMU, because AMU you see different cases, and you can just say, I think I like cardiac, I think I like renal, I think I like this one, then you can go for it. And also, if you're confused go for bank shifts. So a lot of trusts, they encourage people to start as a bank nurse in some areas. Just you're going to shadow a nurse, just like the one I did as well. Before I started my anesthetic nursing course, I've shadowed a nurse. I think some of you watched that video as well. I shadowed a nurse and I think, okay, I like this specialty and I go for it. And that's another thing with agency nursing as well. As long as it's not a specialist area, agency nurse will place you anywhere. So me personally, I've worked in renal wards, I've worked in this ward, that ward, that ward as an agency nurse. So definitely you get experience and be like, I think I like this specialty more. I would like to move in my permanent job as this specialist nurse. So definitely go for it. Thank you, Asa Emeka. Thank you so much for joining. Von Vix, this right here is really educative. Can't lie. Is a stomach. My neighbor back then in Nigeria is an IT, and the lady was born. Yeah, ICU nurses there. Transferable skills, really, really good. Your skin. One thing about ICU nurse, what I like, you can just be with one patient in the community setting, and maybe all you do is peg feeding. They are on not really critically ill. They are just maybe needing oral suctioning. They just need, if they are on they need nebulizer, or they have tracheostomy, or they have what's this one they use in the night? God, why am I forgetting? This thing that they help people to this machine that helps people sleep well in the night. If they are snoring, or I've forgotten the name, but just those kind of non-invasive ventilating machines, that's the only thing they do. They don't really do anything critical, so you don't really need doctors around, and they still pay you very well. So you only have one patient, and it's like good communication with the family. Some of the families, they are nice. The person I've worked in that kind of CPAP. Thank you. I need to go back to school. Yeah, exactly. CPAP and BiPAP machine, BiPAP as well. So they just have those kind of machines that you just look, and they are all automated. It's not like in the hospital where you still have to be checking. No, before they send patients back home, they already automate all those machines, so you don't have to change any setting. All you have to do is turn it on and turn it off. Easy peasy money, and you get your money and you go home. So yeah, I think ICU nursing is one of the best. I love it. But the only thing I don't like in ICU is sometimes they might give you 1 to 2, which I don't really think is fair. But with anesthetics, there's no way you do 2 patients. It's not even heard of anywhere. Even no matter how short staff a unit can be, anesthetic nurse cannot be in 2 places at the same time, and they cannot have 2 patients in one theater. So that's one thing that sold me out between anesthetic and ITU. But I love ITU, and I would definitely go for it if I have if in a heartbeat, if I'm given the choice. Okay, I love ITU. My skin is skinny. Oh guys, we need to open this thing too, please. Let's not forget that I have to open this my skincare product. My address is showing. Let me not open it. So guys, what other question? Let's answer. The tax rate in UK is, yes, definitely is. And see, let me tell you something. That's one thing about Australia that, see, if I go to Australia, you will not hear a word. I promise you. Because see guys, I'm going to sell Australia. In fact, the minister of Australia or their prime minister or whoever is sitting on that seat will call me for ambassadorship program. They will endorse me to be promoting their country. Do you know in Australia there's something called salary packaging? Okay, so with salary packaging, you get to, the tax is, before they will tax you, you pay your house rent, you pay your necessity bills, like light bill, water bill. Depends on the company you work for. So some companies will say, we'll do a salary packaging of 12,000 Australian dollar for you. So you can pay your rent, pay your child care if you have a child, or anything that is basic need of a human being, not for your clothes, not for your lashes, not for your hair, but basic things like bills. When you finish paying, that's when they now deduct tax. So do you understand what I mean? So it's not like the UK where your tax is deducted before you even pay your rent. You understand? So that's one thing about Australia that is very good as well. That's why I love it as well. So yeah, definitely the tax there is high, but because of the salary packaging, you see a difference. Thank you all for your suggestion. PR is 5 years, 5 years. I wanted to ask, I know this is different from what you're talking about, but I want to ask you, what's your take between a mental health nurse and occupational therapist? You're asking me a nurse. Let me tell you, occupational therapy is soft work. Personally, that's what I think. I prefer it to, I think it's one of the roles outside nursing that I would definitely have considered. If I don't know if that's a thing in Nigeria, but in the UK, occupational health um occupational therapists they work hand in hand with the physiotherapists, but they don't really do much of the lifting like the physical physiotherapist does. I think occupational therapist is something I would love to do. Because they also pay them very well. Like they start them at band 6. They don't start. It's only nurses that start with band 5. For people would be thinking, but mental health nursing is good as well because most of them will start at band 6, and your role is good, especially if you only resort to doing one-to-one. You only take care of one patient, especially if you go in a nursing home. You see some of them work with only one mental health patient, or if you work in a mental health hospital, they give you more patients. But generally, the mental health nurses I see that come to our ward when I was in the ward, guys, if I tell you what do they do? Just sit down with the patients, especially those ones that have suicidal thoughts. They don't do anything. Those people, they will not even give medication. They will not do vital signs. They will not, even personal care. Some of them will say, they'll still call our healthcare assistant to do those things. So personally for me, I think mental health nursing, I know they have really hard work because it's not easy to just sit there, look at a patient the whole 12 hours, or prevent them from killing themselves or prevent them from harming themselves. I know they do amazing work. So if you're somebody that doesn't like personal care as well, you can go to mental health nursing. It's very good. Yeah, so it just depends on what you love, really. I can't really say which is better. Depends on what you love. Both of them, they are nice. Meanwhile, can one do nursing online and keep working? Like, yes, a lot of people do it. University of Derby. Hey, every nurse I know. University of Derby, just go to University of Derby online and get your certificate. No time to waste time, my sister. Mental health, more money. Yes, so more money for mental health nurses. What's your take on peri-operative nursing? If I start to talk, people say I hate. See, let me tell you, there's some specialties I cannot do. And peri-op nursing is, see, when you say peri-op nursing has 3. Okay, that's one thing people mistake. Peri-op has 3 specialties. So in peri-op, we've got the we've got the anesthetic nurse, we've got the circulating or scrub. We have the circulating nurse and we have the scrub nurses. So all of them are peri-op nurses. Okay, so but I think if the one you mean is scrub nursing, I think yes, because we've talked about anesthetics is a little bit different. I don't really like the specialty personally, but this is my personal choice because I feel like, let's discuss. I feel like they're doing more of, give me this, yes, give me that, yes, give me this, yes, give me this instrument. Shoot 247. Oh yeah, this forceps, this. Even when, because I'm there, I'm now seeing it more. When I was a student, I really didn't like it as well. But now that I'm an aesthetic nurse, I'm seeing it. Like I'm saying, God, I can't do it. And mostly because if you scrub, you can't relieve your bladder during that period. You can't. Most of them barely sit. I don't think it's. If you like it, go for it. But personally, I would never do it. I'd rather work in the ward than work in the Okay, the only thing that you would find fascinating is when you go further to become a surgical care practitioner. So with if you are a surgical care practitioner, you can do some minor surgeries. Like I've seen some of them in my trust. We have them. So they do surgeries with robots. So the robots now. Instead of the surgeon to do the surgery, the robots will do it. So the surgical care practitioner, they can operate it, and also they can do minor surgery like what's it? Easy like this appendectomy. They can do appendectomy. They can do like hernia repair, like all these little ones that would not need excessive blood loss. They allow them to do it if they are a surgical care practitioner, but then you need a master's degree for that. So if you have that in mind, you cannot do it if you are not a scrub nurse. So you have to become a scrub nurse and work for like 2 years before you can apply as a surgical care practitioner and then be able to do minor surgeries or assist the surgeon in doing the surgery. But if you are a scrub nurse, you basically just give instruments. I find it boring. I find it more like something less. I don't think mental work goes into it. Even the anesthetic nursing, I will not lie, sometimes I feel like that, but it's still much better, especially because I know I'm going to further our square, but it's still much better than the scrub. I feel like the scrub is just give me this, yes, give me that, yeah, this. That's what I feel. But people love it. People find it more interesting than anesthetic. So I've seen, there's one of the scrub nurses that says she can never do anesthetic nursing, and I think people are allowed to have choice. So yeah, definitely. Um As a recovery nurse in the UK, what are my chances of getting a well-paying agency job? As much as I know, if you work in recovery, you can work in the wards or in the recovery, but the it's not that in demand, if you know what I mean. It's not as much as you would if you're an ITU nurse or if you are an aesthetic nurse and all that. And the recovery nursing is not really considered as a specialty. As much as I know, you might correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, they'll still place in wards, and they feel like anyone working in the ward can recover a patient, or an aesthetic nurses recover patients, so they can do that, especially if you go for private hospitals. But agency nursing, they're not so much in demand. As much as the agency I work with, they're not really in demand. So I don't know for other agencies. Is healthcare free in Australia? Yes. Healthcare is free in Australia if you're a permanent resident, okay? That's one of the reasons I'm going as a permanent resident as well. So if you go as a student, if you go as working visa holder, you don't have rights to their Medicare. So they call their own free healthcare Medicare, like we call our own NHS. So then you have to still pay tax like you are here, but when you go to the hospital, when you go to deliver your baby, it's all free and bougie. So yeah, they have free healthcare as well. And that's another reason I'm going to Australia and not and that's one of the reasons I'm going to Australia, because of the free healthcare as well. It's something the NHS, it's something the UK has that I love about the UK, free healthcare. I mean, I cannot stress this enough, especially me that have not given birth to any child. I don't want to spend so much money just to give birth to a child, or probably, God forbid, I get a terminal illness. I will not spend my whole money. And I've seen nurses that are working in well-paying hospitals beg for funds to treat them. I don't want to be in that situation. But if I'm in the UK, I know I will never ever, you'll never see a nurse, or you've never see someone ask for funds to treat themselves for cancer or anything. I know the waiting time in NHS is crazy, but guys, we are so lucky to have NHS, and in Australia, Medicare. So yeah, they have free healthcare. You are already selling Australia. I am. Are you currently renting tire and that's too personal. I'm not sharing. Nurse Dio, can I apply as a registered nurse if I'm a registered public? Yes, if you are a registered public health nurse, as much as I know, you already have a diploma in nursing, because you cannot just become a public health nurse like that. I don't know if things have changed. A lot of things. I left the country a long time, but as much as I know, you need to be a diploma nurse before you specialize as a public health nurse, which is 18 months. So you can use your RN certificate. I don't know if public health nursing. No, you can use it as long as you have your RN. Can you tell me about the strike that is going on? My brother or my sister, we are striking. That's all I know. Striking for better pay, better everything. So yeah, I don't want to talk about that. It's too political for me. You already said okay. Love this video. So thank you so much. University of Debian. So yeah, and Sunderland is quite cheap as well. So yeah, definitely consider that. Hi nurse, which specialty pays more between anesthetic nurse and endoscopy nursing, both in the UK and Australia? So I'll be very honest with you. It depends on the level. So anesthetic, as much as I know here in the UK, anesthetic nurses and endoscopy nurses end the same. But if you become a nurse endoscopist, so please, they are different. It's different from when you are just working as an endoscopy nurse in the endoscopy unit and you're a nurse endoscopist. You get paid more than anesthetic nurses, because you do the procedure as an endoscopy nurse, as a nurse endoscopy, you do the procedure, so you get paid more. But if you now go further in the anesthetic side to become an anesthesia associate, you still get paid the same, because you give the anesthesia, you induct the patient, you tube the patient, you manage their airway, so you get paid. So both of them, I would say they are almost the same thing. It just depends on what level you are. But you're more likely to get a job as an anesthetic associate more than endoscopist. Scrub nurse, me too, not my thing. I'm telling you, my sister, time needed for Australian PRO. You can get it anytime. You can get it immediately. You can get it before you even go to Australia. So you don't really have to be in Australia to become a permanent resident. You can get it from me. Don't worry. Hopefully, God being my guide, I'll get it here and I'll make the video even before I leave so people can see it, okay? How cheap is housing in Leeds? Prince Will, are you still here? Tell us, please. Prince used to live in Leeds before he left. So as much as I know, Leeds is up north. Okay, up north, anywhere up north is cheap. Liverpool, Sunderland, Newcastle, they're all cheap. I think you can get a bed and a parlor for like 400. If you just go online and check, you will see them like £400 you can get. Oh, to see 350 for one room. Thank you so much, Prince Sweep. So yeah, Leeds is very cheap, but you need to avoid the city center. Oh. So not because I said Leeds is cheap, you now go and stay in their city center and gone. Their city center will definitely be that, like here at the 650. But if you stay in the countryside, it's 300, 350. Yeah. So yeah, it's very, very cheap. Why did you choose Australia over US? Well, I think it's just choices. First of all, Australia, I don't need to write any exam again, because I'm in the UK. But if I want to go through the US route, I have to sit for the NCLEX. I have to do this and do that, and yeah, the process for Australia is still tedious. I won't lie, but there's no exams I need to write. Also, safety reasons. Okay, as much as I know that's not everywhere, like some of you know, my sister is in the US. I think some of you already know. Safety reasons as well. So I know there's some places that are very safe in the US. I won't lie. Where my sister stays in Salt Lake City in Utah. Is considered one of the safest, but like she has been pointed gun a few times. And those things scare me. Okay, I'm someone that loves traveling, so imagine that I can't travel freely in some areas because I'm scared someone might shoot me or something. So yeah, safety was one of the reasons why. Also, they don't have free healthcare, so even if you have insurance in the US, even if you pay your tax in the US, you're still gonna pay. Like my sister, when she gave birth in the hospital. No jokes, till now she's still paying the hospital bills. For some reason they still send her bills for that. So a child that is almost 3 years. So you see, it's not that easy in the US. As much as I know nurses are paid well, but if you are in Australia and you're working as a travel nurse, you get paid so much as well, which is okay. So a whole annual leave, in Australia is even better than the UK. You don't know. So in Australia you can get 7 weeks annual leave, and every time you work 1 year in an employer, they add annual leave to you. So I know in the UK they add annual leave after 5 years. In the NHS, I think they add how many hours? I don't know, I'm not sure, but I know they add in the UK as well. But in Australia, if you stay with one employer for 1 year, you are added a couple of days annual leave. But generally, they start you with 7 weeks annual leave in Australia. So yeah, they have good annual leave as well. But as much as I know, in the US, they have 2 weeks. I'm not sure. I've not lived in the US before. I've never even visited, so don't quote me, okay? But as much as the research has been going on, and I've watched nurses in US, I think for me, I think Australia will benefit me more. And because of the weather as well, the beaches, you guys, travel content on I go tire when I reach Australia. But yeah, I mean, it's still okay. If you love US, definitely go for it. It's worth it. It's worth the money. As long as safety, or you look for a safe place to stay, definitely go for it. I'm not against the US. I'm not against Canada. I'm not against anywhere. As long as what works for you is what you want, go for it. Okay, guys, we're almost at 70 minutes. Guys, people, please like the video. I was just chilling, then boom, scrub nothing. Give me this one. Give me that. My sorry guys, can you hear me now? I'm really sorry. My battery is down, so that's why. So yeah, as much as you know, in the small cities as well, career progression is not that much. That's because the hospitals are small. So in small cities you get hospitals with 300 bed and all that. But in big cities like London, you get hospitals with 1,000, 2,000 bed and all that. And then there are lots of career progression for you to move up the bank quicker in big cities. But if you live in small cities, the career progression is there, but you can't just compare it to big cities. So definitely, if you come to the country new, I would suggest small cities before you move up to the big cities for more career progression. Guys, my voice is going down too. Oh. For someone who is new in the UK, which place would you recommend they stay in terms of affordability of housing? So you can stay in anywhere in the north, really. Anywhere in the north, stay there. But don't just come to London, close to London, around London, 2 hours in London. No, please go up north, okay? It's better there. But the weather is very cold though. Just not like that. I pray you get the right links for sure so you can. Yes, I will. I already have. I just pray everything goes as it is now. By God's grace, I'll do everything I can. So yes, guys, for a new graduate, what special guys, I've gone through this question. I think you're just coming. I would recommend you start with what you love. If you already know what you want, go for it. But if not, start with AMU, Acute Medical Unit, ED. Start with those two. You get good skills and general knowledge of every condition, because any condition goes to emergency, any condition goes to AMU. You don't need to be a cardiac nurse to be there, anything. But once you get your balance and you know what you want, you can now specialize in any one you want. You can even become an advanced nurse practitioner. Guys, those people earn so, why did I even forget them? Those people earn so much money as well. Especially if you do your prescribing course where you can prescribe minor medications, you get paid so well. Tell me about Scotland. I've only been to Scotland once, so I don't really know much. I only know it's very cold and the houses are very beautiful. That's the only thing I know about Scotland. And they pay better than England NHS. So you see, are all the Australian employers offering PRO to nurses? No. So my first employer is not offering PRO because they are a private hospital, and I understand their facts. Okay, they said I have to be with them for 2 years. No, not 2 years, 1 to 2 years. So when I'm in my second year, they will apply for PRO for me. But the one I am trying to get into now, they are willing to sponsor my PRO from here. So yeah, not all employers. So you have to check before you finally go. Do you have any idea how to be informatic nurse in the UK? No. I only know about digital nursing. I don't know if they have yeah, I think they have informatic nursing, but that's a band 6 role, not really band 5. I don't think you see that as band 5, but you can check or even ask your practice development nurses. They will know about that, but I don't really know much. I'm actually scared of Australia because I heard it is my sister. Oh, it's see about danger, wildlife, and all that. Yes, Australia has one of the most dangerous snakes, spider, scorpion, kangaroos, and all that. Yes, I wouldn't lie, they have. But as much as I know, they don't live where we live. No, we are never even go reach. I don't they. They don't live where humans live. So they have the outback. They call it outback area. So that's where those dangerous animals live. So it's only when you now you say, I like, not like me, I love adventure. It's only when I go now say, today I want to see a snake. I'll now go to the bush forest and I'll see snake. You'll see a lot there. But when it comes to the cities where people live, you will see them once in a in my video when I talked about Australia, some people that are Australians, they commented. If you go and check that video, you see lots of comment about this. So some of them you can see, maybe if you are driving in the bush part, you see a snake passing the road, but they're not in your house, they're not inside your bed, they're not living with you. Okay, so it's only when you go out to those areas that you'll see. And there's a lady I watch, I even got her on my channel. So there's a sign about snakes. So whenever you are going to where they are, they'll put a sign, say, be careful, danger ahead, snakes, blah, blah, blah. You know, now it's a first world country, guys. You cannot even compare it to Africa. They have measures in place for all these things. I want you to let's communicate. If there are snakes in everybody's house, do you really think people will be in Australia? No, let's be honest. Do you think that they just love to stay, or if the snakes are even dangerous, like the ones they see on the road, they're not really that dangerous as much as I hear. But do you think if it's dangerous and it's killing people, if you even check Google, the last time someone died of snake bite was years ago, okay? So in Australia, but let's be honest, in Africa, I saw snakes a lot. When I went to Kenya, if you follow me on Instagram, you see the place I went to sleep in Kenya, you know that bush area, there was snake there. So even in Nigeria, snakes used to enter our house because me, I live in Bayelsa. I'm in Bayelsa. I'm a confirmed Ijo girl. And if you know about Bayelsa, Bayelsa is like not city. It's kind of bushy area. We have snakes biting people there and there. My mother is a nurse, so she comes back with I have patients with snake bite today and all that things. It happens, but in Australia it's well controlled, and they have anti-venom, which is one of the strongest. In fact, it's one of the strongest. It just like stops whatever poison the snake has in you, and they have vaccines that help as well. So they've got a lot of measures in place. I'm not saying I would not see, like the lady that left from here to Australia, she said she's seen snakes only one, and that was because she went hiking. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. It's only when you go to this place that you see these animals, but they don't live with you. They don't. It's just fancy. It's just like when they say they kill people in America. Of course they kill people, but they don't just kill everybody, or people are still surviving, just like that. But definitely, if you are in Australia, you have to be more careful. Don't live in bush areas. Like me that like secluded area, when I go to Australia, I want to live in the city because I don't want wahala. But yeah, if in the UK, like where I live now, is very, people see my Instagram post, it's very secluded. Like I'm almost the only black person here, and then the bush area is here. I love it because I love walking about. Yeah, but in Australia I would not dare because of the wildlife. Okay, so yeah. Please, how long do you need to work as an RN before you can become? So sometimes 3 years in the UK, you can start your course. Depend on the specialty as well. So if you are going through the emergency nurse practitioner role, I think you need 3 years. Some roles 2 years. Yeah, I've seen people that started their process in their second year. So it also depends on your trust. If they really need someone in that specialty, they will sponsor you as long as you are a better candidate. When are you moving to Australia? Also, will you please do content on cost of living, bills, and on nurse salary? It will really help us come. Oh, you people know that I'll go and compare. I will not. All this one I'm doing is I read. When I go, I will compare and contrast. When am I leaving? It's only God that knows. For now, I've already spoken about what I'm still doing, why I'm still here. I'm still here for some reasons, but I will leave this year. Okay, don't worry. But I will leave this year. Definitely do the comparison. What do you mean by PR sponsorship? Is that mean the employer will pay, or the employer is going to pay the fee? If they're not going to pay, they're going to specify it in your contract, so you don't have to worry. Yes, in Kenya we got so many snakes that keep. Thank you, Pauline. No, to be honest, when I went to Kenya, I saw snake. I was like, really, snake in a residential area? I was like, ah. But yes, guys, it happens, and as long as, and that's why it's even safer in the said Australia, because their governments, they have in Australia they have flight nursing as well. See, there are so many opportunities in Australia. I can't really wait. They have flight nursing as well. So this nurses, they like, we have it in the UK as well, but it's not that popular. So in the UK they can work in air ambulance UK, but in Australia they have flight nurses that you can work to help people that have been bitten by snakes in those areas. They just fly you with helicopter, and you are in another city helping someone out of the danger. These people, they like to try, these people, they like to try new things. They want to hold snake. You see them holding snake and doing this. When they bite you, they'll call us. We'll help them. And because healthcare is free, you see, because healthcare is free, they don't really mind the dangers they put themselves. So definitely, if you want to go to Australia, don't let snakes and all that put you off. Please don't do that. That will be the last thing to do. Don't do it. If it's on something else, fine, but snakes, that should be the least of your concern. As much as I know, as someone that wants to specialize in nursing informatics, UK have digital nursing and health informatics, but no nurse informatics yet. This is the motion. Thank you so much. Yeah, I know of digital nursing because there was a time they brought it out in my trust that they need 2 nurses to go for digital nursing role, but that's a band 6 role, so you can't go if you're a band 5 except you are due for a promotion. So definitely go for it. I love it. I saw the skills they were going to be doing and all that. It's nice, especially if you want to start something outside bedside. Definitely look for it. Is there free education in Australia? Yes, there's. See, let me just tell you, Australia is almost the UK, but with a better weather and better pay. Okay, so Australia, anything you enjoy, I think Australia was colonized from British people. So anything you have in the UK, free healthcare, free this, free that, free this, is the same you get in Australia and more, because they are looking for people. Okay, they have vast land but little people. Some people play that they have more animals than they have humans, so they have more. Everything you have in the UK, you definitely have. No extra shit. If you want to become an agency nurse that wants to be getting money, there's no extra shit for you. You will not even have agency nursing. Okay, so yeah, definitely. Guys, let me know if you're enjoying this section. My voice is gone, but I'm willing to spare some few minutes. I'm a married woman. I need to cook for my husband. I'm joking. Okay. As much as is it easier in the UK to learn a new unit like ICU, learn it from scratch? And will it be easier to be booked in agency, or you need to be in that setting department you need to be an ICU nurse for 1 year, especially with my agency. You need to be an ICU nurse for 1 year, and it's very easy to become an ICU nurse. So that's one thing I really love. See, the UK is good, though. I'm telling you, if you want to become ICU nurse in some countries, you go through a lot of process. But here in the UK, all you have to do is apply. Even if you don't have any ITU background, just apply and you start becoming. They have courses like 6 months course, ITU intensive care course that you do for 6 months. About that time, depending on your trust, some are less, some are more, and then you can start working as an ITU nurse. So it's definitely easy. Okay, guys, skincare. Gang. So see, I'm gonna do a full skincare video for you people when I get to 20k subscribers. As I'm speaking to you, we are almost 9k the last time I checked. So with this, when I get to 20k, I'll do a complete one, like all my products. See, I don't wear makeup, not because I don't like makeup, but because I think I spend too much money on my skincare, and I don't really bother for makeup anymore, because what's the use of getting a good skin and putting all the pung on your face? Natural beauty. Okay, so mostly I use the Body Shop product. So this is like the pink grapefruit. This is my shower gel. I hope people can see it very well. Do you think the waiting time for appointment and elective procedure are long in Australia? Like, no, I don't think so. I think it's easier to see a doctor in Australia than it is here. It depends on the city. If you live in London, definitely it's going to be more difficult. If you live in smaller cities like Newcastle and all that, it's going to be easier to see a doctor, because there's a GP I follow on my Instagram, and he said sometimes he doesn't even have a patient the whole day. You can imagine, but that will not be applicable if you work in London. So I think it definitely depends on where you work. So this video is not sponsored though. If you know me from beginning, you know that I love the Body Shop products, and they are one of the best. They have natural products. Like, this will not be organic, not organic, but not be our type of organic that they mix. People that don't even know anything about skincare start mixing things for us and we buy. No, that's not it. So this is the vitamin C serum from the Body Shop. Guys, I don't go anywhere without this. So this is just restock. Okay, I've been using this product for years. Since I came to UK, I started using the Body Shop, and if you see my skin, this is life. No filter, guys, just ring lights. Okay. But not to say that my skin is always perfect. I won't lie. If I'm on my period, if I'm ovulating, my skin, if you follow me on Instagram, that I do my normal selfie, you know that there are some times that you see one big dot here, you see one big one here. Just know that the woman is womanizing. But regularly my skin is okay. So yeah, this is like their glow revealing serum, and I use this morning and night. Okay, but I usually double cleanse. Don't worry, the full skincare video will come. What else? Guys, their products are affordable as well. Just go online, type Body Shop, you see them. And this is just vanilla. So yeah, this is just like my restock, my body wash, and then my face serum. Yeah, that's mostly what I do. I don't really do much skincare, but I have a lot of products because I don't use all the same day. I have certain days. Monday I use this, on Tuesday I use it, Wednesday I like that, because why not? The skin was skin. I don't see, ever since I did my eyebrows, I don't do makeup anymore, and my life has been easier. My life has been easier. I wake up in the morning anytime I want, take my bath, and I go out. You will watch my videos. My videos, I don't do makeup. I save money on those things, and my life is just easier. Right, do we have further questions? If not, I would like to take a bow. Do you think the weight, okay, I think yeah, Team Body Shop. So guys, thank you so much for coming for my live stream. Do you want us to be doing this more often? Let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to like this video if you've not. Did you find value in this video? I know it's quite impromptu. I was just at home just doing my assessment. I'm going to do a video on that as well. I've not been in the best phase to like edit videos and all that, so I like, let me just go on live stream and just speak to them. So that's why it's very impromptu. I didn't post a long time, but if you want us to be doing more live stream, less once in a month, because once in a month, let me know which day is favorable. I usually see my analytics, and I think on Sunday is more favorable. Let me know in the comments if you really want me to be doing this, and if you have further topics also, just let me know in the comment section. I'll be happy to do more. Meanwhile, if your trust is sponsoring you when on sponsorship, meanwhile, if your trust is sponsoring you when on sponsorship, is it wrong? I don't understand the question. Vicky, I really don't understand, but we'll just send me a message on Instagram. We'll talk here. What is the highest nurse ratio to patient in NHS? The highest I have seen is 12:1. You didn't hear it from me, but yeah, sometimes it's like that, especially in the night. It can get high as 14, but yeah, you didn't hear it from me, not on this live stream or double. More questions coming your DM. No wahala, send me, I'll help. I love Body Shop and Body Bath. Yes, Body Bath as well, but I really don't buy Body Bath. I'm a Body Shop baby. Yes, more live stream, definitely. Do you think Sundays are okay? Do you like 4 o'clock? Let me know, because live stream, I want everybody to be live, and because it's very hard to be watching live stream when it has ended. I will not even lie. But thank you all for joining. Regular nurse patient ratio in the world is 1 to 8, with 1 nursing assistant, or depend if it's more acute, like in acute cardiac coronary unit, is 4:1. Okay, thank you for this video. Thank you so much, Dora. Thank you for joining. Yes, please, more live stream. Yes, Yvonne, thank you so much. I found huge value. Thank you, Farouz. I'm really happy I can help. Really, I know how hard it is to get informations like this, and if I have it, why not? Definitely. This timing is perfect. Definitely will do more. Do a video on relocating with a family of I don't have family of from weekend, but I think it's going to be the same process. You just have to add them. But yeah, you just have to add them under your visa. But if I'm doing the video, I will definitely add if you're going with children. Yeah, I will do that video. 12 to 1K. Yes, 12. This is not them say. Yes, when I was in the ward, I dare you, I've had 12 patients in the 9 shifts. Those are one of the reasons why I say I have to leave. Yes, I have had it. And no, of course, they say it's night shift, but if anything happens, you still your pain, regardless of night or day. You're even more likely to lose your pain in the night shift than you would in. See, guys, I think I should even make a video on reasons why people lose their pain, because you are more likely to get into trouble in the night, because there are no doctors around, and then there are no staff, really short, and if things don't get done in, see, 15 to 1, me, the highest I've gotten, to be fair, is 12. Okay, but I've heard people got crazy, and this is not even nursing home. I know nursing home is shield. In the nursing, I've worked in the nursing. I've worked in a variety of settings. I think in the UK, I've worked in a lot of places. In the nursing home, it's fine if you have 20 residents. I will not lie, I'm okay with 20. Like in my nursing home, it was like 20. It's okay because they are all fine. No one is ill. No one is having IVs. But when you work in a cardiac unit and you are having IVs, you have to prepare someone for telemetry. It's not easy like that. It's not. And then the paperwork in NHS is crazy. You have to do it. There's nothing like, I have 20, so I couldn't do. No. If you, as long as you take over that unit, you are reliable to or liable to anything that happens. So it's better you say, no, I'm not taking over, than take over and start complaining. Nobody will hear you again. Please recommend me your firm before leaving. What firm? Please let me know what firm. You deserve more. Oh, thank you. We are already at about 9,000. So hopefully we will. Me, I believe my channel will grow. I'm working. I'm putting in the work, and I know you people are sharing my videos as well. So thank you so much. There was a time somebody messaged me that they shared my Australian nursing video to on Twitter. I'm not active on Twitter, but it gave me so much joy. Like, when somebody recommends you on a platform they don't know about, or they don't know you, or rather they don't even tag you to get the recognition, but they just did it. I was impressed. I had to go on Twitter and see to thank the people, but I'm not active on Twitter. So yeah, definitely thank you all so much for your love. Can you do a video on how to get visa for different countries when traveling? Because as an international nurse, I'm stuck on visa. Oh, definitely. I usually do that. I have on Schengen visa, Tanzania visa, any country I travel. Guys, Morocco. Do you know I'm going to Morocco in April with the girls? So we are a group, we're going to Morocco, and I'm the one planning the trip. And planning trips are so sweet. So definitely prepare for my Morocco vlogs, my Morocco trip. It's going to be the bang. Okay, guys. NHS 15-1 with different patients on pumps, peg feet. Oh my god, catheter. This one, some of them will be on syringe driver that you have to check every 4 hours. That's why when they pay you money in this UK, you do like this for the money. Okay, guys, so I think we can call it a quit. I'm so grateful. I do not take your love for granted. Thank you for coming in this short notice. Thank you so much. I will see you guys later. Feel free to send me a DM on Instagram if you want anything. I'll answer as much as I can. But yeah, this will be it for tonight. Thank you and see you guys later.